Now, learning objective D wants us to actually write the equation for an image. And I'm just going to do what we've been doing to this point. If we look at this here, it says at the right are the graphs of c of x, which is a square root of 25 minus x squared, and its image D. So here's C and here's D, so we're going from the blue graph to the red graph. They already have a translation rule for us. So if someone said in words, what is this thing doing? Well, it's going to be right 5, down 4. Well, it makes sense. Look at the this point here. They went right 5, down 4, and it moved right there. And they're semicircles. So they want us to find the equation for the image. Well, I first need to identify what the parent function or the preimage was, and I can tell it was this. So I'm going to jot this down. Y equals the square root of 25 minus x squared. Okay. What we're going to do to force the equation to do what you want. What we want it to do is what the ordered pair rule is. We want this graph to move right 5 and down 4. Everything on this piece of paper will flow together. The picture is going to flow right here with the ordered pair rules. However, the actual equation that we get as the new one is going to be backwards. So let's jot down what the new image is. Here's how you do it. I'm going to start again with the preimage, or in this case, the parent function. And what I have to do is go to the appropriate variable and put everything in backwards. So it says, do x plus 5. This thing is really going to move right 5. To make the equation do that, you must write x minus 5. Be very careful. It's to the actual x value. If you had written this, if you did 25 minus x squared minus 5, that is absolutely wrong. Because what we're doing is you're doing minus 5 to the x squared. This says do it to the x. So you must put this in parentheses and just show that you're taking the single x and you're doing minus 5. Okay, for the y, they actually wanted to go down 4. So I'm going to go over to the y, and instead of doing minus 4, I do plus 4 to the y. Now, to clean this equation up and solve it for y, what I would do is subtract 4 from both sides. So to do that, our final equation would be y equals the square root of 25 minus x minus 5 all squared, and then minus 4. So there are two schools of thought on how to write the equation. The FST book will always take the translated rule, or look at the graph and literally see what's happening, because this translated rule and the graph is the same thing. They will always take the x movement and put it in there backwards, and you always need to do that. But the FST book will, for the y value, will always take the y value, go to the y letter, and actually go backwards. Now in Algebra 2x, you learned a trick. Algebra 2x would actually, instead of doing plus 5, like the graph, we want it to move that way, they would always do minus 5 to the x also. So you always go backwards on the x. But in 2x, what they did is they said for the y value, instead of putting it with the letter y, I'm just going to put it on the opposite side already. Because I've done that, I'm literally going to do the minus 4. So if you want to do that trick, you can always change the sign for the x, but if you put the y on the other side, you can continue to do exactly what the ordered pair says. Okay, let's do this one too. Again, we want to write the equation. Looking at this, we can see that c of x is x cubed. D of x is our new image here, and they want us to find the equation. They told me the translation rule here, but I can tell it's going from 0, 0 to 5, negative 4. So it went right 5, down 4. So right 5, down 4 makes sense. I do want to identify the preimage or parent function, which is y equals x cubed. Now I'm going to put this together as the FST book would. What they would do is they're going to go just to the x. We have to keep it cubed on the outside. They're going to say this. I'm going to go to the x, instead of adding 5, I'm going to minus 5. They're going to go to the y, and instead of subtracting 4, they're going to add 4. But then what we're going to do is say you need to solve this for y. So they're going to subtract 4 from both sides, and they're going to get this final equation. Now, I do want to talk again Algebra 2x. Algebra 2x will say, I'm going to take the x of plus 5 and always go backwards and do minus 5. But because I'm going to bring the number over for the y and have it solve for y, I'm just going to do minus 4 already and not have to deal with having to do this cleanup movement. You can absolutely do that. So based on this, we can tell the correct equation here is the letter C.